Good morning and thank you for being here. We're cutting in with some breaking news because the U.S. Army has just released its report into Lewiston mass shooter and Army reservist Robert Card.
And as we know, Card was a sergeant first class in the Army Reserve. I was in Washington, D.C. yesterday speaking with top military officials, learning a lot while we were there. We got a copy of that investigation before it was publicly released, publicly released just minutes ago. That investigation, based on more than 3,000 pages of documents and dozens of interviews, really a massive investigation that's been going on for months now. And what we're learning is it's breaking down failures. It's breaking down other kinds of issues, saying that Card was experiencing a significant and violent deterioration in his mental health before the mass shooting.
And you're getting a lot of new insight after speaking with officials inside the Pentagon, John. Here are some of the key findings. Starting within the Army Reserves, multiple communication failures between military and civilian hospitals. We learned that 3 officers in Card's chain of command have been punished for, quote, dereliction of duty for lack of action that impacted Card's continuity of care. And worth noting here, the names are redacted in that report, John.
They are. Those will not be made public. They are below colonel level, so that's why they've decided to not make those names public at this point. And as we continue to look through this report and some of the key findings, there are a lot of questions as well as we continue to look at some of the things that happened. The court hearing, it was scheduled to involuntarily commit Robert Card. The hearing was canceled. It's unclear why he was released from that private civilian hospital less than 3 months before the Lewiston shooting. That hospital is deciding to not participate in that investigation, so something we still don't know.
Yep, a lot of questions left to ask there, of course, and we have reached out to the hospital and haven't heard back yet today. It also cites procedural breakdowns in Card's medical care between the civilian hospital where he was in commitment and then the military, saying that serious reports were not followed, serious incident reports. And as John pointed out, we've been discussing, 8 investigates given rare access inside the Pentagon.
So we made the trip down to Washington, D.C. yesterday to be there when this report was being discussed. I was able to speak exclusively. We were there one-on-one with the Chief of the Army Reserve. That's Lieutenant General Jody Daniels. She tells me that there are changes to policies and procedures. Some of those are already underway based on this report. I want to play part of this conversation that we had with her again late yesterday afternoon as she reveals some new findings on what's happening right now within the Department of Defense, within the Pentagon. Take a listen.
We're looking at making sure that all of our commanders at all echelons understand what authorities they do and don't have in terms of, we can't compel soldiers to give up their private weapons, but we have the ability to have an exception to policy to store them if we can convince them to give them to us. We don't have the authority to do lots of different things. We do have the authority to, as commanders, request access to medical records. Given particular questions of a particular person for a particular reason, we can make those requests. And making sure that our commanders understand what those left and right limits are and how they can get those exceptions.
Should the Army and the military have that authority to take away weapons if they believe that somebody is a danger to either himself or self or the community?
I think it's the right move to pass that over to local law enforcement because they're not under our jurisdiction, but they are under civilian jurisdiction. And to pass the information that we are concerned about health, welfare, safety over to those folks and let them make that call.
And we will have more on that interview coming up tonight, starting at 4 during Maine's Total coverage. Nora Hogan here with us now. And as you heard the general say, she really does believe that local law enforcement needs to take that active role in the local community. She says they know, in many cases, better the kind of reports that they're getting. But they were getting reports from those closest to Card in the months and the weeks leading up to what happened.
Yeah, local law enforcement has faced a lot of scrutiny, and there are new details emerging in this 115-page report. Significant part of the report is focused on these Army's interactions with agencies, specifically the Kennebec and also, of course, the Saginaw County Sheriff's Office, which we've reported on extensively. Nora Hogan again here now with more on some of these new details emerging out of all of this, Nora.
Yeah, so what's interesting about this is that because this report reveals a lot of internal communication failures that we did see from the Army, that doesn't mean that it exonerates local law enforcement. The Army continues to claim that they notified local authorities about the threat posed by Robert Card and that it was then on them to remove his weapons, as we heard from that soundbite that John had for us. At one point, the report says, quote, any reliance on the military to handle this matter was also unreasonable because the Army did not have jurisdiction nor authority over SFC Card in his civilian capacity. So continuing to point some fingers there. And Saginaw County Sheriff Sergeant Aaron Schofield has previously said during sit-down interviews with us and also during the Lewiston Commission hearings that the Army didn't make it clear how serious the threat was. We'll be sitting down with him later this week in the coming days to hear his reaction to this report.
A lot of reaction that we are continuing to gather for you,
Yes.
because there are so many different agencies and people involved in this. They are identified in this. Again, those breakdowns and failures now being essentially called out by the Army and the Army Reserve.
And some of what's difficult to understand out of these reports is that there are so many redactions, including the names of the individuals within CARD's unit who are being held to account, at least to some extent. And in some of these reports where they're looking at findings, or one person who investigated came to this conclusion or that, it's hard to trace the source of that. Worth noting that we did reach out to Saginaw County Sheriff Joel Mary. He is on leave right now. He was actually on leave at the same time that the agency went to his home for those initial wellness checks, which are now under scrutiny yet again in this report.
And Tara, you just mentioned those redactions, and you can see the black chunks of text here. That's what we're talking about when we talk about redactions, information that the military does not want or does not feel should be made public. The general saying that they did do this report with the fewest number of redactions possible, but still, Terry, as you noted going through, there are a lot of redactions in there.
And 43 witness interviews and upwards of 500 exhibits. There's a lot of material that they combed through here, phone calls, text messages, video, certainly material that we're interested in seeing. That was something I understand you asked about.
We did ask, and it's unclear if any of those exhibits will be made public at any point going forward. They are still waiting on some other investigations, of course, the Lewiston Commission, State Police, and other investigations that are currently happening. But what we do know at this point is the report is urging several changes, making several recommendations. And as we start to look at those, since they found that some of the existing policies weren't followed, they recommended retraining some of the commanders in CARD's reserve unit when it comes to medical policies. We mentioned there are disciplinary actions, but again, some of that retraining as well for others. On a larger scale, they recommend reviewing and updating the U.S. Army Reserve's behavioral health policies across the board. And General Daniels also told me that they've already changed a policy. I thought this was interesting when it comes to follow-up, especially as she noted, the change doesn't happen quickly within the military or within the government in general. But as we've reported on, certainly I know both of you have done extensive reporting on this as well. There were reports that came in from CARD's family and friends. There were reports that came in from his military unit. They did follow up, but he wasn't answering the phone. He wasn't answering texts. He was essentially isolating himself. And so at that point, the military closed the case. That was standard procedure at the time, but that's one of those things that has changed, not anymore. They say that when the member of the military, a soldier, doesn't respond, that may be when they need help the most. And so they've changed their standard operating procedure. They will no longer just close that case. They will continue to push to get contact with that person. They won't close the case until they are able to make contact, whether that's at a public event, a training, or somewhere where that soldier has been ordered to attend.
And we've been reporting so much on the yellow flag law. This is something that we looked into from the outset of this. And one of the conclusions that the report comes to, this is the report from the Army, if you're just tuning in right now, but if the deputies from the Saginaw County Sheriff's Office had forced an interaction with Robert Card at his home the day that they suspected that he was inside, that this could have been avoided. And that was their words in the report.
Right, and it's kind of interesting because we're seeing a similar dynamic going on with both the psychological case within the Army. They closed it once they couldn't make contact, and local law enforcement, it seems like after they couldn't make contact, they closed the case here too. So we're seeing that similar experience on both levels. I think that's going to be a focus here going forward as well.
We have reached out to members of Maine's congressional delegation to get their reaction to this report. Senator Susan Collins, who previously this year expressed disappointment in the delay of the report coming out. We do have some remarks from her, Nora, if you want to take that.
Yeah, she says that they must work together to prevent future shootings. She and Senator Angus King say that they're working on legislation to direct the military to utilize state crisis intervention programs. She says that the report clearly shows that more could have been done to trigger Maine's yellow flag law and potentially to take guns from Robert Card. She also says that the Army's psychological health programs, their own policies, were lacking when it came to holding soldiers with mental illness and really providing them those resources there. So again, yeah, we see that lack of follow-up. That seems to be what she's referring to.
And she says that she will be working with Senator King as well to try to make some changes in federal law, in the defense spending bill, for example. We know that Senator King, you checked in with his office this morning, traveling to Washington, D.C. We are hoping to speak with him a little later today.
And in addition to what we've just shared with you, there's a lot of new details that are emerging out of this, details that are nuanced and not necessarily a thread in any one person's culpability that's mentioned within the report itself. Some things that really jumped off the page and only receive a brief mention here. It notes that in 2008 that Robert Card fell off of a roof and that he broke his neck. And this is interesting because Card's family, they shared the results of tests on his brain that came from the concussion lab at Boston University. The report also says that they could not conclude that report definitively pointed to that his service caused a traumatic brain injury.
General Daniels really choosing her words carefully there. She was telling us yesterday at the media briefing that she's not ready to say that there wasn't any kind of damage to his brain due to the military service, but she said certainly the information they have doesn't indicate that. She was referring further questions to Walter Reed, but that fall that you mentioned, she definitely seemed to suggest that that was more likely the cause of a traumatic brain injury. And even though we have this report, 115 pages, there are still a lot of questions that are unanswered.
Yeah, really looking to now, I think the next thing for us will be to see how local law enforcement responds to this, which we'll know soon. And also in terms of this lack of support for these mental health services. I mean, that's something we're going to be looking at later today. I'm speaking to a military veteran who helps connect service members and veterans with mental health services to see what he has to say about this. I mean, there's a lot of room for action now, I think.
Probably the biggest question that remains, at least to my understanding, in this report is why Robert Card was released from being committed to Four Winds Hospital.
Right.
If we're looking at your screen here, these are some of the remaining questions. Why was there not that court hearing to have him involuntarily committed? Card had petitioned to leave the hospital, and then that request was eventually withdrawn and he was let go. We are working to learn more about that. We did reach out to Four Winds, who did not engage with the Army in their investigation. We have not yet received a response from that. Another detail from this report here is that the Army Reserve found, or stated rather, that they recommend that the DHA, the Defense Health Agency, consider removing Four Winds as an authorized treatment facility. So essentially they work with Four Winds if at the Army Hospital, Keller Memorial Hospital, if they're not able to meet the needs of a reservist or a member of the Army, then they would transfer them over there.
And that's exactly what happened in the Robert Card case. He was at a training at a military facility, and when he was exhibiting these signs of his mental decline, they sent him to a civilian mental health hospital, this psychiatric facility, to get help. And the general said that is common. They do that often. She referred it to a specialist. Oftentimes, we all know how that is. If you need a specialist and your doctor is unable to provide that service, then you are sent to a specialist. And so she said that is common, but as the report notes, it'll be unclear if they use that same facility again, because one of the recommendations is that they no longer use that facility due to how the discharge and his continuity of care all played out.
And there are numerous references to Walter Reed Medical Center in deferring to them to make the determination over whether this particular facility is suitable to continue caring for service members. So much more to come on that.
And we will have much more in the report right now on our website and in our mobile app, including a look through some of Card's history, our full interview with the Army Reserve Commanding General. Again, you can get that right now on our website, WMTW.com.
And you can also watch the entire press briefing, which John was at in person yesterday, the U.S. Army Reserve Inspector General, their comments, and reaction from Maine lawmakers as we continue to hear from more stakeholders here.
And we'll be receiving comments, we imagine, from Maine leaders and beyond throughout the day. Complete coverage coming up on air first at 4 and on our website. But for now, we're going to return you to regularly scheduled programming.